You're watching an episode of Spirits People Live with Johnny Michelson.
Alrighty, there we go. Going live, second day in a row. Special edition, blind tasting. With the bourbon patty. Let's see what happens. So we have 4 samples. I'm going to crack through those. Whiskey Hype, what's going on, buddy? We're doing a blind sample special today. Should be interesting. What's going on in the Canadian side of things? Christina Kim joins us from the state of New Jersey. Rock and roll. Yo! So, we have blind tasting. I'm going to be joined by the bourbon patty in a bit. We have 4... Let's see, get some lighting going on here. We've got four samples. I've sent him some samples, and the hell, I need to get my complexion right. And he sent me 2 samples. So we'll be doing them in whatever order. We haven't actually talked about what order we'll do them in. We'll talk about it, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And because it's Easter, I have these little chocolates here. My wife just dropped these on the desk, so unfortunately, I'm going to be eating these and forcing myself to go to the gym tomorrow. So there's that. See if I can open these little nuggets, chocolate goodness. God damn it. This is not good, but it's good. All right. Let's see. Where's that patty? Oh, that's good. What are these? Lindt chocolate. Amazing. So good. My favorite pairing with whiskey is chocolate by far. I guess, Christina, for you it's pizza. Where does chocolate fall on the ranking for you? Chocolate will be good with this one. Let's see. Where's the bourbon patty? All right, hold on. Let me ping him here. Multiple cells. What's going on, Vin? Yeah, dude. Chocolate and whiskey. It's a thing. I have to be careful not to eat all of these chocolates because then I can't taste any whiskey. But yeah, a little bit. And obviously, so with chocolate, like these are milk chocolate, so it's actually not the best. But if you're drinking, get some dark chocolate, like high cocoa. Vin is editing. Gotta get those reviews out. Gotta feed the world, entertain. Alright, so I pinged Marthinus, but I don't know what's happening. So I'm gonna start, actually, because this is one of mine. So I'm gonna start with one of the ones that he sent me. I'll give you some thoughts until he appears. So let's see. Don't have a piece of white paper. Do have envelopes. Have a look at it. So this one is golden. So it's not too dark, These are all American whiskeys, so it will be either a, well, I guess we did say that we're not going to do any malt. But yeah, so American whiskey, so bourbon or rye. Maybe we said Canadian. I'm not sure. I can't remember. So I sent him 2 American whiskeys, whereas one of them is a bourbon and one is not. But we'll get to that when he gets online. So this one here is nice and thick, super oily. It's kind of a light amber. It's probably, yeah, it's a little darker than golden, so it's a light amber. And it's been open for about 15 minutes, so it's still a little bit young in the glass. So I'll kind of heat it up a little bit. Oh, wow. It smells amazing. I think it's a rye. So there's some leather on the nose, which is pretty interesting. People think it's easy, says Vin, when editing. So Vin, it's blind samples. I don't actually know what this is. So Marthinus, aka the Bourbon Patty, send me a couple of samples, and I sent him some back. So whenever he joins, we'll kind of talk through them. But this is one of the samples that he sent me. So I'm just I'm letting it open up a little bit because it's only been in the glass for about 15 minutes, so it's probably not. It's not opened up fully, although it's full of aroma. He's writing back now. Marthinus thought it was 9:30, so I'm like I'm half an hour early. It's all right. So there's some fruits. There's some fruits on the nose. A little bit of there's like a dusty or like old leather or something. And there's some grassy notes maybe. There's a little bit of a spring in a glass type thing. Ah, Stephen, what's going on? So I'm just realizing that me and Marthinus never really talked about when we're going to start. I just assumed that we're starting at 9. So he might join in a little while. But so far I'm nosing my way through one of the blind samples. Whiskey Novice, Bobby's Windows. We got Canada in the house now. We got Whiskey Hype from the very beginning, and now all the buddies are joining. Awesome. It's the whole Toronto Whiskey Society, I guess. Yeah, so sample 1 of the 2 I have from Marthinus. So light amber, quite fragrant. Not a very high intensity on it. It doesn't really give much away from a distance. So like at a chin's distance, you can kind of smell whether or not you have a lot of stuff like pot still in there, which is a little bit more intense on the flavor because of the lower proof it produces, and then a lot of column still. Obviously, it will get out at the higher proof, so you lose some of that intensity. So yeah, it could be a blend of pot and column, but I think this here is probably a column still. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So guys joining, I'm just getting into a blind sample right here. So I got one of these from Marthinus, aka Bourbon Patty. So I'm getting into it. He's going to join me in a bit, and we'll talk through some samples that I also sent him. But for now, I'm gonna try and taste this. Maybe the chocolate is going to influence that, but we'll see. Whiskey Edge is saying he blended it himself. I don't know. Don't know with this guy. Marthinus is pretty crazy. Oh, wow. Okay. What is that? So there's some pine forest in here. There's some weird kind of cola notes. There's caramel. There's some classic American stuff in here. So classic like caramel, vanilla. There's some cloves in here. I don't get any cinnamon. I definitely get the cloves. Man, what the hell is this? Okay. You think you know shit and then you drink stuff blind and you know nothing. Oh, God. Ah, there he is, Bourbon Patty. You dropped the kid and went straight online. How you doing, buddy? You didn't have to rush. All right, we'll bring him on.
Hello.
Ah, there he is.
How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm diving in.
Nice.
I'm cheating. I'm moving ahead.
What sample you got there?
So this was the first one that you told me to drink. It has number 2 on it, on the lid.
Excellent. Okay, I think I know which one that is. What do you think of it?
So yeah, I was just kind of I was assessing it a little bit, and yeah, I've had one sip, but not really enough to address it. But yeah, it was all over the palate. On the nose,
okay.
It was on the nose, there's not a lot of intensity in here, so it doesn't give a lot away at a distance. But yeah, up close, there is like a lot of. The first thing I thought it was pine forest.
Okay, I know which one you have there.
All right, let me adjust the camera here so my face is in here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Kind of green notes?
What's that?
Kind of greeny notes, kind of pine foresty notes, yeah?
There's some pine forest and there's some weird dusty notes, which I think the closest I could get to is like old leather.
Okay.
And then there was some cloves in there, and some vanilla. And then there was also like the first nosing. What I got was kind of like a spring day, so like a lot of kind of like floral notes, but kind of in a warm sense. So not like in a light kind of floral, but like very, very intense floral experience.
Yes. Okay. I'm looking at the bottle and I'm like, I know this one. I threw you a curveball. This is a very interesting one. So this is the one that are probably the wackiest ones that I have.
Okay.
So you let me know when you're ready to find out what it is.
All right. What can you tell me? Do you have some facts that you can throw at me that doesn't give away what it is? Like
sure.
Distillery location or
it's
something like mash bill.
It is. I have no idea on mash bill, but it is an interesting mash bill.
Okay.
Well, it's just interesting what they did with it before they made it. But it was aged for 1 year in a 20-liter alligator char cask, distilled to 150 proof. So it's an American whiskey.
Uh-huh.
But it's what it was distilled from. That's interesting. It's from a distillery, a small craft distillery in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So they did a series of these really interesting distillations, and this is one of the more interesting ones.
Okay. So I've never tried anything that I know of from Virginia, so I probably do not know what this is.
Okay.
But man, it's interesting. I would not have guessed this is 1 year old. So the distillate is 1 year old in a barrel, and that's it.
Yeah,
like
20-liter brand new bourbon barrel alligator char for 1 year.
20 liter. Okay, so like a micro barrel. Okay.
Yeah, small one. Yeah, yeah.
It's not. Shit, what's that called again? The Silverback Distillery, is that the one?
No, it's not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one you can get their stuff in the UK. And you can maybe find this in the UK. I'm not 100% sure, but their distiller came over to Ireland and he left me some like bottles he'd used in shows. So there wasn't a whole lot left on the bottom of all of them, but just enough to kind of get a taste for kind of the wacky things that they're doing. They're doing some crazy cool things.
Okay, so I'm on the second sip now.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, yeah, it's definitely young. That's for sure. It's kind of on the palate. It's grain forward, which is kind of a giveaway a little bit.
What kind of grains do you think is in there?
What's that?
What kind of grains do you think is in there?
It's difficult, but I would say there's something weird in there, but I think there's probably some rye. I'm definitely getting some rye notes.
I'm not sure if there is, to be honest. I'm not sure what grains went into this, and you'll understand after I explain what it is. But it is super interesting, and when we were talking about wacky whiskeys, this is the first thing that came to mind was
right. Okay.
This.
This is it's very interesting. It's very fumey actually on the palate. It's almost like a liquid fuel because it has a lot of those alcohols, like kind of floating around, and it dries out a little bit, which is kind of like if you drink. Not that I would ever do that. Any kind of pure alcohol, it kind of dries out your mouth because like the alcohol content is so powerful, and it kind of it dries you out. There's a little bit of that. What's the ABV? Are you drinking straight from the bottle there?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I get what you mean. Kind of crazy. Let me see. Does it even say? Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. 45. So 90 proof.
Okay.
Oh, that is funky, and you'll understand why when I explain what it is. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's give it away. What is it?
So this is what's called the Mashup Series by Reservoir Distillery out in Virginia.
Reservoir. I have had those. I didn't know that was in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're out in somewhere. Where is it? Like Reston or somewhere in Virginia. Hold on. Maybe it says on the bottom. I can't remember. No, Richmond. It's Richmond. Richmond in Virginia. They're right in the middle of a big kind of like brewery kind of area of Richmond. And so this is actually a distilled gingerbread stout that they got from Hardywood Brewery. So that is someone they collaborated with. And it has hops. And it was basically I think it's just a ready to drink beer that they distilled. So those weird floral notes, they're hops. You're getting hops.
Right, okay.
And all kinds of crazy things, yes. So when you taste it now, do you get like gingerbread biscuits?
There's definitely a ginger sensation. I totally get that now. I'm not sure if I get the biscuity, the sweeter notes on that. But yeah, maybe, because it does have some caramel, it does have some vanilla and some cloves. So I guess like if you put it all together, you can say, yeah, gingerbread man.
Yeah, so they when they did this, they got that lovely vanilla note from the distillate. So they thought, all right, we'll stick it in some brand new bourbon casks. And they do micro barrels, so 20-liter alligator char casks for 1 year at 75 ABV. And I mean, look at the color on that stuff after 1 year. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
I was speaking to...
the micro barrels with an alligator char, though.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of wood to alcohol surface contact going on there. I was speaking to Dave Catino, who runs Reservoir, just to kind of get some because I knew you'd want some facts, just to get some facts on this, because I didn't actually know that much about it. And so that was an interesting conversation. And the way he describes it is Christmas in a bottle.
Yeah.
So there's a little gingerbread man there on the sticker. I think I think these are distillery only, and I think they've got more of them. I've had an IPA one as well that is delicious.
Oh, wow.
It's just a tropical fruit bomb. Kind of reminds me a bit of what I've had from, who are those guys? Charbet stuff. Again, a beer that they got from someone. I think it's like Race Car Brewery or something. Or it's Race Car Beer or something, and they've just distilled it and aged it in whiskey barrels. Now, they do full-size barrels, so theirs takes a bit longer. But yeah, something interesting, something really wacky.
Definitely wacky. I just add a little bit of water just to see what happens. Because I have a feeling it's going to fall apart a little bit because it's so young.
Mm-hmm. Now, all ingredients sourced from the Hardywood Brewery, so that would be their beer. It says on the bottle, spirits distilled from grain, hops, and natural flavors, then finished in bourbon barrels. So I'm not even sure if it qualifies as an American whiskey, but I knew it'd be something funky to throw in there, so I chucked it in there anyway.
Well, it's whiskey, right? And it's American, so it wouldn't qualify as bourbon, but...
Hell no. No. Sure. Yeah.
Well, hops is a grain, right? Because for it to be called whiskey, it has to be all grains. Like hops, I'm assuming is a grain?
Is a botanical, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's not a whiskey because of that. It's actually like an American spirit.
You said we're going to do whiskey blind tasting. I reject this sample.
I promise the other two are whiskeys. I'm looking at the bottles. One's a bourbon and one is something else.
Right. This is something else. Oh, very interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. So, do you want to do the number one that I sent you?
Number one. Let's do it.
Boom. There you go. All right. So.
Okay. What are the facts? Hit me with some facts.
Give it a swirl. Okay. So this here is a well-known distillery. So not a craft or small, kind of hidden away. It's on the Bourbon Trail.
Okay. It's very grainy. Can't know about that. Like cornbread-ish, kind of oily. First pass. It's got a lovely color to it.
Oh yeah, I have it here. I poured it as well.
Oh yeah.
Very, very dark.
Almost a little touch of sweetness, but mostly I'm getting like graininess. I'm thinking, is that wheat?
I don't know. What do you think? Well, I do know, and I will tell you.
All right. I'm going to taste it. Let's go for it. Okay, I'm having a hard time telling what that main note is, but I'm getting some peanuts now.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like one of those Jim Beam signature craft things where they did the crazy grains? No?
Nope.
What is that main? It smells familiar, but I can't. I'm trying to get something. It's not very. Yeah.
So there's a lot of dark berries for this on me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very dark, and it's definitely not sweet. It has a sweet characteristic, which I would say is probably like a maple wood or something, but it's not sweet.
No, it's like maple syrup, but not without the sweetness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is that note? There's something in there. Can't tell what it is, and it's very familiar.
Mm-hmm. So the distillery has one of the oldest buildings of the current standing distilleries in Kentucky.
Okay, so it's in Kentucky. What's the proof or the ABV?
The ABV is let's see here, 47.2. And I can say that it's not their main kind of release. It's not part of their main lineup. It is a limited edition.
Okay. Is it Wild Turkey? No, it's not Wild Turkey.
So, do you want the mash bill?
Sure. Something smells familiar. There's a main note, and then underneath that is something smells really familiar, like those fruit you're talking about.
So it's 72% corn.
Okay.
10% malted barley, and 18% rye.
Okay.
So what does that,
so it's not
that tell
just
you?
high rye.
So what does that tell you when you get all these weird notes?
I don't know.
Maybe it tells you that it's a finished.
Maybe.
Mm.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
It is finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's finishing something.
Mm-hmm.
That probably explains the color.
Yeah.
What is that finished in? It's not. Is it shit? Like I usually, if it was sherry, I think it would be sweeter. Something in red wine.
There's no wine cask.
Okay.
So what else can we talk about? So the base, before it was finished, is 7 years old.
I feel like I know this, and just it keeps getting away from me. Is it port? No, it's not port. No wine cask. Something funny about it. Is this Woodford Reserve?
That's
a Master Select.
That is correct.
I'm getting some Woodfordy notes.
Woodford Reserve, yes. So it's from their Master Collection series.
Very nice. Sonoma Cutter? No?
Nope.
No, that'd be wine. No.
So you have, you have 21 to go. They got 22 pieces. We'll be here all night.
Wait. I think I can guess this.
Yeah. Let me just citate all of the special releases from Woodford Reserve. So this one here is from 2012. I don't know if you know the 2012.
Nope.
So it's finished, but it's not just finished in one type of cask.
Is it like 4 casks or something?
4 wood. Yeah, that's the name.
See, I had their Sonoma Curter in the Master Malt Advent Calendar. Look at that. And it again was this oily kind of like a...
Yeah.
Is all that stuff pot still? Do you know? Was that all run through a pot still?
This is triple distilled pot still only. The regular Woodford Reserve is a blend of pot still and column still from another Brown Forman distillery. But yeah, this one is pot still.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, well that explains some of the notes I'm getting anyway.
Yeah, it's a little bit all over the place because you got my computer's I had all my notes, now they're gone. All right, now they're back.
Okay, so their yeast really didn't make it through this time, did it? Not a lot of banana in this.
Oloroso sherry. You got maple wood and ruby port cask, plus, of course, the American oak. So yeah, four different casks, and then it's put back into the barrel after to mellow out, and then they bottled it.
Okay. So I've heard these are quite expensive. Would you buy it again?
This one is a little bit odd for me because I I've only recently started to getting a little bit more into acceptance of finished whiskeys. I probably wouldn't buy it again because like it's one of those that I drink very rarely.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't mind having some of the other ones just because like they're nice to have as kind of the odd one off as a special bottle that you can go to every now and then. They last really long, which is good. They sit in your collection.
Yes.
And they're fun to pour for someone when you have someone over. It's like, oh, we want to try something out of the ordinary, just not your standard stuff. Like this is a fun one to pour.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It kind of doesn't taste like Woodford. Like you don't get
it doesn't taste.
You don't get their yeast coming through or anything. You just get like some wine notes and like port, obviously, and a little bit of sherry. But like I had a sherry cask finished bourbon there recently, and there's a lot of sherry in it. Now the base bourbon is beautiful, but when they dumped it into those really super fresh Oloroso sherry casks, they might have overdone it with the sherry a little bit, because like who knows how much sherry was in that wood, you know? So
yeah.
I'm hoping that mellows out.
All right. What do we do? What do we drink next?
Okay, so you're doing your number 3.
The number 3. All right. So this one right here. Number 3. Blind.
I think I know what that is.
All right. So these have been sitting for a good 40 minutes now.
Okay.
So hopefully it's been opening up. It's a little bit cold though. I want to kind of warm it up a little bit.
Do the Jim Murray thing and keep it in your crotch.
It's tough when you're standing up. Like I was standing up, so it's like it's gonna be a weird position.
Under the armpit.
Yeah, I'll do the little baby cradle here. It's like,
I don't know if you noticed.
Right. So,
yeah, look at this.
Oh shit!
This. Well, we wait for you to heat it up.
Yeah, what's your wife wearing then? I thought you were saying she was wearing it. She was running around indecent.
She was. She was, but I wrestled it off her, and it was a lot of fun. But I'm wearing it now.
Nice, awesome. Represent.
Yeah, she got a hold of it, and that was it. Had to really argue to get it back.
So I might just have to send you one more. I have to send Steven one more because I sent him the wrong one. I sent him the one without the live logo on it, so I sent him the wrong one. So why don't I send one to your wife?
Sure, maybe without the live logo. She doesn't do the live.
No, unless she wants to come on live, then that's fair enough. You got to earn your.
She'll talk about red wine, but she will not talk about whiskey unless it's bad mouthing it. All right. What do you get on the nose of that one?
So this one is it was a little mellow on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
There was some sweet honey.
Okay.
Some citrus. Some vanilla, some cloves.
Okay.
There's a spiciness there, but I'm not sure what that is. Like maybe some...
I'm going to sneaky try and get some, but
right.
You've seen what the bottle is.
Nice. Classy.
Again,
this is quite oily. It's quite viscous actually in the mouth. Doesn't have too long of a finish.
Yeah. It's nice. It's kind of malty.
Malty?
So this would be, I don't have mash bill specifics, but this would be a high barley bourbon.
Bourbon, okay. I was leaning towards the rye because of the spice, but yeah, it's
I mean,
Maybe
I hope it's not the rye. There might be a rye in the mix, so I'm hoping I've got the right bottle in front of me right now. But I feel like I would know if it was what I think it is, and I think it is what I think it is.
Mm. Yeah, it's quite bitter on the palate there. It's like a lot of it's a lot of like cracked black peppercorn. Imagine like chewing on one of those for a bit, and it kind of becomes really weird and bitter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have much of the sweetness on the palate. A lot of that sweetness on the mouth, or on the nose, but on the mouthfeel doesn't really give away much of the sweetness. The bitterness kind of just takes over a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it another swirl here. Yes, it's kind of tingling with bitterness. All this sweetness is kind of gone. There's a lot of oak, actually. It's almost like I feel like it's tannins that's coming through. There's no burn, but it's very like it sits in the mouth. Like the tongue and the cheeks are kind of like.
Let me have some more. Let me just make sure that you've got the right one that I think you've got.
All right, we got some people. We still got people joining. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We're doing a blind sample test or tasting, and I managed to flip the camera, which I shouldn't do. All right.
I'm sure you got. Okay, I think we're on the same page now. Yes, it is a little bit spicy. What information I can give you is it's a craft bourbon. It's 4 years old.
Okay.
And it is from California, 92 proof, and this is from batch number 2. And it would be considered a high barley bourbon.
High barley bourbon.
Mm-hmm. So obviously 51% corn. Now, they wouldn't give me the mash bill, but 51% corn at least. But there is a large amount of barley in it because it is made by guys who started off as a brewery. And so when they opened their distillery side of things, they wanted to kind of do a homage to their brewery beginnings. And so they did a bourbon that's got a bit more barley in it than your usual 5 or 10%. What's that?
Is it Seven Hills?
No.
Sonoma didn't start as a brewery, did they?
No, it's not Sonoma.
Who else is it? Oh, is it? No, there's a brewery next door to St. George's.
Nope, not St. George's. But these guys have a brewery next door as well. I think it's like separated by a chain link fence is the brewery and the distillery. Let's see.
In California.
Mm-hmm.
And
San Diego.
Oh, okay. I do not know any, or maybe I do. My brain is just numb right now. I can't think of that. All right, spill it. What is it?
It is Devil's Share by Cutwater Spirits.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've seen that bottle. I have no knowledge of that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Small
cool.
craft distillery. Yeah. It's something interesting. I like to give it to people who want to try a bourbon that the secondary flavoring grain is actually the barley as opposed to rye or wheat.
Is it all malted barley, or is it a blend of malted and unmalted barley? Because if it's a lot of malted barley, then like I don't think I would be drinking it right now. But if it was a mix of unmalted and malted barley, maybe.
It might be a mix. Probably is a mix. They wouldn't give me a specific mash bill. Now, I reviewed it a while back on my page. And that's what I remember them saying, because I did contact them and I was like, so what's going on here? Like, what are these strange malty notes I'm getting? You kind of get a bit of malt when you drink it first. Well, I do anyway. But then, yeah, you get that nice spice as well. So
Yeah.
probably a blend of both. Don't know. They wouldn't really tell me. So
Yeah, I think now that I know that it's kind of all of that barley, I think some of that bitterness that I'm getting, I can kind of see why that's the barley coming through. I didn't get that though up front, and I don't like, because the barley note is not something like, I don't drink a lot of barley stuff like altogether, and I don't like not really recognizing that at all. But yeah, maybe some of that.
Got a little bit of a hint of scotch or something to it.
Yeah, there's some of that. there is some of that, and now that I know, I can kind of get that.
It's still a 4-year-old bourbon whiskey though, so it would be bourbon with a little hint of that. This is batch number 2, 46% ABV. Yeah, it's a nice bottle. I mean, nice and tall.
Yeah, I love it.
Actually, little devil stealing his own little share of bourbon there on the front of it. So, yeah, just something interesting that made its way over to me from California. So
nice, man.
Yeah. You gotta.
How'd you get that?
I think I heard about them, and so I was like, "Hey, you guys got any review samples?" And so they sent me that. And that was like 3 years ago. So I actually met one of their guys while I was out in Chicago last year. He was he was just in a Target selling. They do like canned cocktails.
Yeah.
So like they do a whole load of things.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Hey, Cutwater," and I was telling him about all this kind of stuff. But yeah. Kind of random meeting one of their guys.
Nice. He's trying to like revamp the Smirnoff Ice idea. It's like,
yeah. So apparently their cocktails are quite good. They do like a Bloody Mary and everything. It's
sweet.
It's kind of fun.
Nice, man. Oh, very
all right.
Good. All right, I like it. So move on to my sample number 2.
Okay, I got it here.
So I'll put this aside now. That was cool. Very interesting.
Something interesting on the nose here. Kind of hits you.
Should be a profile that you're familiar with, but I'll let you get into it, and I'll throw some facts your way.
Yes, do.
So we'll start with the age. It's 9 years old.
Okay.
I have it here as well. So there we go.
Smells familiar. Smells very familiar.
Nice amber color on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a store pick.
It's got some spice.
Oh yeah.
Dark chocolatey notes. Once the spice fades, a little bit of peanuts. Is this not Greek? No? Damn, I thought peanuts. So like, might be bean.
So ABV is 63.25.
Okay.
You should get some of that alcohol up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's quite punchy. I like it.
It's punchy, but it's nice.
I know.
This is like a really nice bourbon. This is real good. I feel like I could hang out with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good friend.
I mean, some part of me is thinking, is it some weird Four Roses recipe I've never had before, and so I wouldn't recognize it, or no?
No.
So it's a store pick, and it's what proof again? 60 something?
63.25.
Okay. Trying to cycle through my head. Distilleries that actually do picks at barrel proof.
So the master distiller used to work at the Brown-Forman research department.
Okay.
I'm testing your all-around knowledge.
A lot of people used to work at Brown Forman.
Yeah. Testing your knowledge, bro. So yeah, he used to
Good.
work, so yeah, Brown Forman Research is a biochemist.
Okay.
However, as a master distiller, at the point where this was done, they weren't distilling anything, so they were picking.
What's it like? It's not Smooth Ambler, is it?
No.
Well, like, who's picking from who now?
Yeah.
Tastes really good. So they're obviously
really
good at
good.
picking barrels. They pick
Yeah.
some good barrels, whoever this person is. Some nice raisin notes. Real dried fruit, a little bit of citrus. It's very punchy.
Nice. So these guys do they do whiskey and rum.
But it's not Smooth Ambler. Alright. Yeah, no, that's not MGP. I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm confused.
Not MGP.
Okay. Good place to start. See, I don't really know much about rum, so I don't really know who's doing bourbon and rum.
All right. What else can we say? These guys only do barrel proof.
Non-chill filtered?
Probably yes.
I'm assuming if they're only doing barrel proof, they're going to just give you what they've got in barrels. And I know them.
Oh, this one is non-chill filtered. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know about all of them, but yeah,
Okay.
This one here is non-chill filtered.
Okay, and I definitely know about them.
Mm-hmm.
Do I own any of their stuff?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
You definitely know.
Okay.
You know about them.
So we haven't talked about them before anyway. Where I've been like, yeah, I'm drinking this guy's juice and it's great.
No, I've drank this in two Spirits People live streams before.
With me?
Maybe not. Maybe. Actually, maybe.
Is this Traverse City that your wife brought you back?
No.
Okay.
So let's narrow it down. It's an American whiskey, but it's not a bourbon and it's not a rye. What's left?
Is it weeded? Oh, Dennis.
Tennessee whiskey.
Is this Dickel or Uncle Nearest or something? No, it's not Uncle Nearest. They don't do barber. Okay. So it's a source Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, it doesn't say, but it's very, very likely that it's Dickel. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not disclosed. But yes, Tennessee whiskey, and this is. Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do.
Just tell me. Damn. Okay.
Barrel. So this is a Astor wine pick. They're a 9-year-old Tennessee whiskey.
Yes, you did have that on a live stream with me before. Okay, that's actually, that's very reminiscent of Uncle Nearest, which, by that I mean the single barrel that the British Bourbon Society did.
Yeah.
So, guess I know where that came from.
Mm-hmm. This here is not as sweet though. The BBS one is very sweet.
Yeah.
This one here is definitely not as sweet as that.
Well, I'm super impressed because, Dickel usually has that medicinal kind of like a vitamin harbour taste to it, like just charred oak. I just keep thinking about Whoop and Holler, which like had that to 100%. You know what I mean? Like just medicinal AF. So nicely surprised. Joe over at Barrel Bourbon's doing a great job.
Nice. Well done, well done. Yeah. So what's the name of Trip Stimson? His name.
Nice.
Master distiller that they hired.
Nice. I know Joe owns it because when I'm listening to Bourbon Pursuit, he's got his little bit on there at the start of each episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they do a lot of good hard work from what I've heard on the podcast.
So have you tried any of the infinite bottlings that they started?
No. I've never tried any of their stuff.
Okay. Yeah, they do a lot of. So I did a count here. So they have 19 batches of the bourbon. They have 6 of their blended whiskeys.
Okay.
They have 2 ryes and 2 rums, and then you have 10 bottles or 10 bottlings of the infinite. And then they have, as far as I know, they have 40 different barrel picks, like single barrels.
Okay.
So they've done a lot, and they've only been around since 2013, I think. 2012, 2013, something like that.
So, like 6 years, 7 years kind of thing.
Yeah, so
Just ordering.
That's a lot of releases.
Yeah, they're keeping it fresh. They're doing a great job. I know they did one of their 2018 releases did really well in the awards. And people were going nuts for it. Saw people buying it up when I think it's like a New Year's release or something like that. Did really well.
There was a New Year's. They called it New Year's actually, I think.
It was in a nice box. It had a grayish label.
Yeah.
People went nuts for it. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot about their stuff. I've just never, obviously it doesn't make it over here. And I've just never actually got a bottle.
Yeah.
So
it's also one of those things because they only do, like, it's all limited, so it's all barrel. It's all barrel strength.
Yeah. That's
so
cool.
yeah,
awesome.
you don't get that many. You don't get that many bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah. It's good. That tickle's impressively good.
I love it.
Yeah, that's delicious. You've sent me some good stuff. I hope my stuff was as good.
Yeah,
mine was more weird.
That was the whole point. It was to share some out of the ordinary stuff. So these are kind of like these are the weird ones or not. They're not really weird. They're just like they're not like standard issue releases.
Yeah. People are trying to kind of branch out and do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did send you a third sample. Like we're going to get cut off here. The Instagram only allows us to do an hour, but yeah, I sent you a third sample. Let me know what you think.
Yes.
I have a couple more here as well, so I'll get into those.
Yes.
Which of these should I start? I'm going to open these after. Which should I start with? 1 or 4?
4 would be great in an old fashioned. Is all I'm going to say about 4. So you're going to love it in an old fashioned. And 1 is interesting because it is an American take on an Irish whiskey.
Okay.
So they made they made it using a pot still and everything, made it to an Irish recipe, kind of like, really went for the Irish whiskey thing. But it's made in the States. So it does have a little bit of that, kind of like an interesting twist to it. So I thought that would be interesting because, they're trying to do something where it's not supposed to be done. You know what I mean? Like they're doing an Irish whiskey in the States. Like they can't call it an Irish whiskey, obviously, but that's something interesting. Not what you'd expect to come from a U.S. distiller. So
nice.
And then 4 is something that's all kinds of crazy stuff going on with it. So.
All right. So you said it's good in an old fashioned. Does that mean it's not good on its own?
It's good on its own, but it's really good in an old fashioned, and you'll see why when you have it.
It's nice and dark. All right, cool. So I'll reveal that my third sample that I sent you is from a very, very large, like one of the biggest distributed whiskeys in the U.S. And this is a relatively new release that's quite hard to get.
Okay.
And you can only get it in certain places. So
ooh,
that's as much as I'll say, and I'll let you think about it.
Ooh. Yeah, we'll have to have another catch up and see what we can get.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Sorry for being late. I got time wrong. I thought it was 9:30, and then so I was just dawdling about getting things done, and then I got your message, and I was like, crap. I was rushing grabbing all the bottles, grabbing all the samples, grabbing glasses, trying to set myself up. So
No worries, man.
my apologies again.
No worries, man. I got a head start. It's good. I got to dive into some whiskey.
Yeah. You enjoy what's left in those samples because there's some interesting. That reservoir thing is real interesting. They're doing some great stuff. I mean, I was gonna send you some of just their usual stuff. You know, the way they do the 100% wheat, 100% corn, 100% rye stuff, because that's pretty interesting.
And
then they kind of blend those to make their other products. But this is something that's really kind of cool and kind of out there. Something that not a lot of people are doing. I know Charbet do it. These guys have done like distillery releases of it and stuff. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what all these craft guys come out with, because they're going to have to diversify to find room in that market.
Yeah, they got to find the area where they can sell their stuff.
Exactly. Hopefully no more sherry cask finish, because that's been done and done again. That's a dead horse, and they've got a long stick.
Oh man, like there's always room for perfection, you know? Like that's how
Yeah,
it's the Japanese way. That's how the Japanese whiskey got to where they are, right? Like they're not doing anything different than in Scotland, but what they do is like they take the Japanese hat on, and then like every day they improve like a tiny little bit, right? So, and now we have Japanese whiskeys that are absolutely amazing. Like, are they as good as Scotch? Like, I don't know. Like, who am I to judge? But it's like, it's damn good.
They probably use a lot of Scotch. I know all of Kilbeggan's 21-year-olds going straight into Japanese whiskey. They've taken it off the market. So they blend in a lot of stuff. Have you? You should check out Jim Beam Legend. It was blended by the master blender of Beam Suntory. Yeah. Apparently that's getting some mixed reviews. People are kind of really kind of drawing a line against these finished whiskeys, because it's not really bourbon kind of thing. Like once you add, like you can call it bourbon, but you have to say what you did to it. But yeah, so that's kind of been hitting some mixed reviews. But I'd be curious to see what people who like Japanese whiskey think of it. You know?
Yeah. There's always going to be purists.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with like a solid, like traditionally made American whiskey. I'm all for it, but like I'm also all for like experimentation. Like you're gonna go wrong before you can go even more right? Exactly.
Yeah, these guys are just getting kind of, I think what they're worried about is the TTB are letting things through and letting people call things bourbon that doesn't meet particularly, or seems to kind of blur the lines. So they're just worried that they're going to end up with what brought in the Bottled and Bond Act and stuff, trying to keep bourbon pure again. So
make bourbon pure again. Oh God.
Yes.
let's not start that.
That's a different spirits people Instagram live session that's just gonna split a lot of opinions. So we'll save that for next time.
Yeah. Let's not get into that. All right. All right, cool, man. Good hanging out. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, good hanging out. No problem. Thank you. I'll get into this number 3, and I'll put some thoughts up on Instagram, and then we can see what it is. You let me know what you think of those other 2, and then I'll let you know what they are as well.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. Talk soon.
All right. Cheers, man. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and
cheers.
Peace out.
Yes.
Thank you for watching this episode of Spirits People Live. For more videos, check out spiritspeople.com, subscribe on YouTube, and be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we connect you with spirits people worldwide.